Ever feel that little bit of decision paralysis when you're staring at names like GPT, Claude, and Gemini? You are definitely not alone. It feels like a new AI tool is dropping pretty much every single week. So how do you actually pick the right one for the job? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down right now. So you've heard the names, right? GPT, Claude, Gemini. It can feel like someone's handing you a list of weird, exotic ingredients when you don't even know what you're trying to cook yet. But what if there was a super simple way to think about all this? By the time we're done here, you're going to have a clear framework for making the right choice every single time. So, here's our game plan. We're going to start with that feeling of AI overload. Then, I'll give you a simple analogy that cuts right through all the noise. After that, we'll meet the main players, figure out when to use them, and then wrap up by building your own personal AI strategy. See? Simple.
First off, let's just call it what it is. It is totally overwhelming. New AI models, new updates, they're dropping constantly. And every single one claims to be the next big thing. It's so easy to get lost in all the hype. But here's the secret. You don't need to learn every little technical detail. The solution is to completely change how you think about them.
And here is that big mental shift I was talking about. Instead of seeing these AIs as all these competitors in some crazy tech race, I want you to start thinking of them as just tools in a toolbox. I mean, you wouldn't use a hammer to saw a piece of wood, would you? Of course not. It is the exact same logic here. Different AI models are built for different jobs. All right, before we actually open up that toolbox, there's just one little piece of jargon we got to get out of the way. Large language model, or LLM. All you really need to remember is that this is the powerful engine that's inside each one of our tools. It's what lets them understand us and talk back. It's basically the source of all the magic. Okay, time to open up the toolbox. We're going to meet the three main tools you'll probably find yourself using the most. And to make it really easy to remember which one to grab and when, let's give each of them their own little personality. First up, you've got GPT-4. I want you to think of this one as your all-purpose creative partner. It is the Swiss Army knife in your AI toolbox. When you need to brainstorm some marketing ideas, draft a really tricky email, or hey, even write a poem, GPT-4 is the creative wordsmith you're going to turn to. Okay, next in our kit is Claude 3. Now this is your specialist. It's your precision instrument. Think of it like a magnifying glass or even a surgeon's scalpel. When you're staring down a 100-page report or a super dense legal contract, Claude is a tool you use to zero in on those tiny details and pull out key information with just incredible accuracy. And rounding out our big three, we have Gemini, the multimodal master. This one's the real visionary of the bunch. Its superpower? It gets more than just text. You can literally show it an image and ask for a social media caption, feed it a chart and have it give you an analysis, or even get it to explain a block of code. It just sees the world in a much, much richer way. All right, so we've met our tools, we've given them personalities, but the real question is, when do you actually use each one? Let's put them side by side and see how their unique strengths really play out in the real world. And this is where it all just clicks into place. Look, if your job is creative, let's say you're writing a blog post, you grab GPT-4. Simple. If you need to do a really deep dive on a long, complicated document, you reach for Claude 3. And if what you're doing involves different kinds of media, like explaining a chart for a presentation, well, Gemini is your go-to. It really is that simple. Match the tool to the task. Let's make this super, super practical. Let's say your boss drops this massive 50-page report on your desk and says, give me the key takeaways. Now, you could give it to GPT-4 and you'd get a perfectly solid summary. But if you give that same report to Claude 3, it won't just summarize it, it can recall a specific statistic from page 37 with absolute pinpoint accuracy. For that job, the specialist tool is the clear winner. Okay. So we've gone from that AI overload feeling to having a really clear framework. We've met the tools. Now it's time for the final, most important step, putting all this knowledge into action. Let's build your personal AI strategy so you can start working smarter, like right now. So what's your personal game plan? It's really just 3 simple steps. First, always define your job. What are you trying to do? Are you writing, analyzing, creating? Second, pick your tool, the wordsmith, the analyst, or the multimodal master. And third, and this is crucial, just experiment. Don't be afraid to try different tools for different tasks. Honestly, the best way to get comfortable is to just start using them. And that right there, that brings us to the most important takeaway of this whole thing. The question is never, ever, which AI is the best, because there's no such thing. The real game is about asking a much better question. Which AI is the best tool for the specific job I need to do right now? So there you have it. You've got your AI toolbox. You know the difference between your hammer, your scalpel, and your futuristic multi-tool. And these tools, they are only getting more powerful. They're evolving from a simple kit into an entire digital workshop right at your fingertips. So the only question left is, what amazing things are you going to build with them?